In the heart of village of Boma, where air was always thick with smell of roasted maize, lived a woman named Nara. She was known for her large size. The villagers often whispered about her weight, but Nara have learned to smile through their words. Nara's husband Yusuf was a respected hunter, admired by all. However, he had grown distant and cold towards Nara. "You are too big to be my wife," he would say with a sneeze. His swore cut deeper than any spear, but she endured them in a silence, hoping that love would return to their home soon. One day, the village celebrated harvest festival. Everyone gathered under bamboo tree, singing and dancing. Yusuf, as always, was the center of attraction, boasting about his hunting skills. When Naza approached with a bowl of her favorite cassava stew, Yusuf laughed loudly. "Look at her," he shouted. "How can someone so heavy even cook?" Yusuf began to mock her. She ate more than she can serve. The crowd joined in his laughter, and Nara felt her heart scattered and shattered. Tears welled in her eyes, but she refused to let them feel it. She turned and walked away, and vowed that one day things would change. She began to walk away. She vowed that one day things would change for the good of the marriage. Later that day, as Naza sat by the river, crying softly, an old woman appeared. She was dressed in a tattered cloth, but her eyes were sparkling like the stars in the heaven. "Why do you cry, child?" the woman asked. At first, Nara couldn't ask more. The woman vanished, leaving behind a small cave stone, shaped like a lion. That night, Nara made a decision. She would leave Boma. She packed all her small bags, took the cave stone, and set off before the dawn. She didn't know where she was going, but she knew she couldn't stay. Nana's journey led to her distant forest. The trees whispered secrets, and the path was treacherous. She faced wild animals, ranging from the river lions and storms, but she pressed on, remembering the old woman's advice and her words. After weeks of wandering, Nara stumbled upon the village of Ngoma. The people there welcomed her warmly. They didn't laugh at her at all, and they didn't also laugh at her size. Instead, they admired her strength and resilience. In Ngoma, Nara met Elder Jubilee, a man known for his wisdom. She told him her stories, and he nodded thoughtfully. "You carry the spirit of the lion," he said, pointing to the cave stone. "Stay here, and we will help you find your true self." Under Elder Jubilee's guidance, Nara began a journey of transformation. She learned to hunt, farm, and defend herself. She grew stronger, not just body, but in spirit. One evening, a village discovered Nara had a beautiful voice. Her song brought people together, healing their hearts and lifting their souls and spirits together. She became loved in Ngoma village. Years passed and Naza flourished. One day, a traveler from Boma arrived in Ngoma. He told stories of how Yusuf have become even more worse and how the villagers had fallen into his disarray. Nara knew it was time to return. The villagers hardly recognized her. She was no longer the same, and was no longer the timid and no longer oversized woman they had mocked. She stood tall and confident, radiant in strength and in beauty. She organized a grand feast, inviting the entire village. She cooked the famous cassava stew, and everyone was happy at her newfound confidence and beauty. When Yusuf saw Nara, he was so speechless. He couldn't believe the transformations. He tried to approach her, but Nara kept her distance. Yusuf confronted Nara, demanding for an explanation. "You left me," he shouted. She looked at him in the eyes of a sadness. "You drove me away, but I found myself and I own you nothing. Yusuf, humiliated, challenged Nara to a contest. He believed he could still outshine her. The villagers eagerly awaiting the shutdown. The first challenge was a test of strength. He struggled to lift a heavy log, but Nazar carried it without ease, earning cheers from the crowd. The second challenge was ridicule. Eda Jubri had taught Nazar well, and she answered correctly, leaving Yusuf trembling for words. The final challenge was to feed the villagers. Yusuf's dish was poorly prepared, but Nazar's cassava stew won everybody's hearts. The villagers declared Nazar the winner. Yusuf's pride was shattered, and he hung his head in shame. He approached Nazar, begging for forgiveness. I was wrong, please forgive me. He admitted, you are more than ever, and you are more than I can ever deserve. Please forgive me, please forgive me. I'm on my knees, and he began to cry. Nazar forgave him, but made it clear she would not return to him. She had found her worth and would never let anyone diminish her again. She decided to stay in Burma, using her skills and wisdom to help the villagers. She became a leader, respected and loved by all. One day, the oldest woman who had given Nazar the cave stone appeared. She revealed herself as a spirit of the forest, sent a guide to Nazar on her journey. The spirit blessed Nazar, calling her the Lioness of the Burma. From that day, Nazar's role of encourage echoed through the village. Nazar, now the Lioness of the Burma, realized her village could not have thrived in isolation. She called for a great gathering of the neighboring people and the neighboring tribes in the foreign. To unite peace, she began gathering of the neighboring tribes to foster unity and peace. Messengers traveled far and wide, carrying her invitation. The tribe of Koboko, Iyoko, and Samba agreed to attend, even though when tensions had long divided them. On the day of the gathering, the villagers prepared a grand feast. Nazar stood at the center, her presence commanding respect. When the tribe arrived, the air was thick with unseen. Nazar began by sharing her own stories, speaking of wisdom, humility, forgiveness, and strength. Her words softened heart of many, and by the end of the evening, the tribes agreed to work together and unite and foster peace in their villages. Not everyone had pleased with Nazar's growing influence. Chief Babaka of the Inyoko tribe, known for his shortcomings, saw Nazar as a threat. He began to plot, and he finally plotted to discredit her, spreading rumors that she sought to control all the tribes. The whisper reached Burma, and some villagers began to doubt her intentions. She, though was hurt by the rumors, refused to confront Babaka directly. Instead, she focused on her actions, providing her integrity by continuing to serve the people selflessly. One day, a strange illness swept through Mbama, leaving many bedridden. Even the healers were baffled. Nazar took it upon herself to find a cure. She remembered Eda Jubri's teaching about real herb found deep in the forest of Trias. Despite the danger, Nazar ventured into the forest alone. She faced wild beasts and poisonous plants, but her determination kept her going. After days of searching, she found the herb and returned to the village where the healer prepared the remedy. Her bravery and sacrifice solidified the place in the heart of the villagers. Chief Baraka, engaged by Nazar's growing fame, decided to take a drastic action. He hired two merchants to attack Burma, hoping to sow chaos and blame Nazar for failing to protect her villagers. Later one night, the machinery set fire to the grain storage and tried to escape with it. But Nazar, alerted by the cries of the villagers, confronted them. She fought effortlessly using the skills she had learnt in Ngoma. The machineries were captured, and under questioning, they confessed to being sent by Baraka. The neighboring tribes gathered in Boma to hold Chief Bakara accountable. When confronted with the machinery's confession, Bakara denied everything, but Nazar presented evidence of torturing. The council decided to strip Bakara of his title and exile him. The Ndoko tribe, ashamed of their leader, pleaded loyalty to Nazar and the alliance she protected and the alliance she had forestalled. To celebrate their newfound unity, the tribe held a grand festival in Boma. For the first time, people from different tribes danced, sang songs together under the star. Nazar's cassava stew was the highlight of the feast, symbolizing harmony she had brought. Elder Jubril, who had traveled from Ngoma for the festival, presented Naza with a staff carved with the image of a lion. "This is a symbol of your leadership," he said. "May you continue to guide your people with courage and wisdom." Months later, a severe drought struck the region. The river dried up and crops withered. Desperation gripped the tribes, and some began to question Nazar's leadership. She refused to give up. She also led prayers to gods of rain, calling upon the spirit to show mercy. Her faith and determination inspired the people to persevere. One night, dark cloud gathered and a heavy rain fell. The villagers rejoiced, praising Nazar for her unwavering hope. Exiled but not defeated, Mbakara gathered a band of outlaws and launched an attack in Mboma village. His plan was to capture Nazar and reclaim his power. The attack came under the cover of darkness, but Nazar had anticipated his moves. She had trained his villagers in self-defense, and they were ready. A fire battle ensued, but the villagers, ununited under Nazar's leadership, drove Mbakara's force away. Mbakara was captured and brought before Nazar. Instead of expecting revenge, she showed mercy, exiling him once more again, but spared his life. Her decision earned her more, even greater respect in the village. That same night, the old woman who had given Nazar the cave stone appeared in her dream. She revealed that Nazar was chosen by the spirit to be protect the villagers. "The lioness within you will guide you," she said. When Nazar wakes up, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. She knew her journey was far from over. Mane, inspired by Nara's courage, asked to become her apprentice. Nara agreed, teaching her everything she had learned. Amani showed great promise, and Nazar saw it in the future of their people. While exploring the outskirts of Boma, Nazar and Amani discovered a luxury valley hidden behind the ranging of the river. The valley was filtered and had a river flowing through it. Nazar realizes this could be a sanctuary for tribes during time of hardship. With the help of villagers, they began to cultivate the land, turning it into a driving source of as they began to cultivate the land, turning it into a driving source for all. A traveling sailor visited Boma and shared a prophecy. A great storm will test the alliance, but the lioness will rise, uniting the people as never before. Nazar took the prophecy to her heart, preparing the tribe for whatever challenges that may come ahead of it. The prophecy came when the storm destroyed crops and homes. Some tribes began to argue over resource, threatening the units Nazar had built. Nazar, with the help of Amani, meditated the dispute and reminded everyone the strength they found in unity. Together, they rebuilt what they have lost. With the storm aftermath behind them, the tribe grew closer than ever. The hidden value became a symbol of their unity, and Naza leadership was celebrated. Eda Jubri, now an old man, passed away peacefully in his sleep. Naza led the mourning, honoring the man who had changed her life. She vowed to carry his teachings forward. Naza became older and Watch Amani took over her place as a leader. The villagers of Mbama and the Alliance tribe thrived under their shared wisdom. Nara's story became a legend told around the generation. She was remembered as the Lioness of the Boma, a symbol of strength, resilience,